Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of PTU IEEE and WIFNAT Group, I extend a warm welcome to you all to this special talk on iron deficiency anemia, a global public health challenge. Today, we gather to shed light on a pressing issue that affects millions worldwide. Iron deficiency anemia is not just a medical concern, it's a societal challenge that requires collective understanding and action. And to guide us through this discourse, we have the privilege of hosting an esteemed expert in the field, Dr. Gayathri Gunalan, Research Officer Biochemistry, Siddha Regional Institute, Puducherry. Dr. Gayathri Gunalan earned her PhD in biochemistry from the esteemed University of Madras, where she specialized in anti-cancer studies and molecular docking. Since February 2016, she has served as a research officer in biochemistry at the Siddha Regional Research Institute in Puducherry. Her expertise extends across various domains, including clinical biochemistry, phytochemistry, epigenetics, and molecular docking studies. Throughout her tenure, she has been instrumental in spearheading research projects of significant importance, particularly in the realms of anti-cancer effects, iron deficiency anemia, and psoriasis management. Her contributions have not only been recognized through publications in esteemed international and national journals, but also showcased through presentations at numerous conferences, both domestically and internationally. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Gayathri Gunalan as she shares her expertise and perspectives with us today. Ma'am, please.
Yeah, thank you for the nice introduction. Very warm good afternoon to the Pondicherry Technological University. It's indeed pleasure to give a special talk on the occasion of Women's Day. A belated Women's Day wishes to all the sweet women present here. And uh, thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak before the students. Dear students, it's my pleasure to address you on this occasion. And we shall proceed into the topic now. And now we are going to talk about the iron deficiency anemia, a global public health challenge. Why it is called as global public health challenge? We are going to look into one by one. So anemia, as we all know, it is nothing but the decrease in the number of RBCs, the decrease in HB less than 12 grams per DL, and besides all those things, the WHO statistics, I want to mention here that it is 40% of pregnant women and 42% of children under 5 years are anemic. And this anemia, it alters the immune mechanism and it is also associated with increased morbidity rates. So it constitutes a major public health concern in the developing countries. So what causes anemia? There are three main mechanisms. The first one will be the ineffective erythropoiesis. Erythropoiesis is nothing but the synthesis of RBC by our human body.
Excuse me, ma'am.
So yes,
Ma'am, are you presenting your PPT, ma'am?
yeah, I am presenting the PPT. Can you see
Um,
that?
no, ma'am, it's not visible, ma'am.
Yeah, just I'll check. Is my screen visible now?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Yeah. Yeah, we start with the initial level itself. So the anemia, it is the decrease in RBCs level, or we can also define it as the decrease in HB less than 12 grams per DL. So as per WHO statistics, it is about 40% of pregnant women and 42% of children under 5 years are anemic. Hence only we are calling it as a major public health concern in developing countries. It also alters the immune mechanism and associated with increased morbidity rates. What causes anemia? There are three main mechanisms. The number one will be the ineffective erythropoiesis. Erythropoiesis means it is the process of making RBC by our body. So when that process is ineffective, when it is not functionally working full-fledged, so the number of RBC produced will be lesser. So that causes anemia. Second one will be the hemolysis, which is called as the lysis, that is the degradation of the RBC cells or any kind of blood loss. Some accidental or physical injury may lead to blood loss. And third one comes to the nutritional deficiencies or the diseases which is caused by the deficiency or inappropriate intake of nutrients like iron. So these are the three major reasons for developing anemia. Besides that, the fourth one is the genetic hemoglobin diseases, which are because of the abnormalities in the chromosome. They are called as the hemoglobinopathies. So the types of anemia, biochemically we can classify the anemia into three types: the normocytic, microcytic, and the macrocytic. Microcytic, by the name you can say the size of the cell will be smaller, and macrocytic you can see the size of the cell will be greater, the bigger. The normocytic, the normal size of the cell. So when the cell is smaller, microcytic, it is because of the iron status. So when the iron content is low, when the iron is not in appropriate quantity, it leads to iron deficiency. Even in some cases, the iron will be normal, but that case also we will be developing some kind of anemia called as the thalassemia, which is a genetic disorder, or sideroblastic anemia, which is resulting because of B4 deficiency. And coming to macrocytic, here it is because of vitamin B12 or folate deficiency, and it can also be because of hemolytic anemia. And coming to the normal cell types, it is due to the reticulocytes. Reticulocytes are the precursor cells of the RBC. So from the stem cells, we have numerous steps, and before RBC emerges, RBC comes out of the reticulocyte. So reticulocyte is the precursor of RBC. So based on the reticulocyte nature, the number, if it is low, it may be due to aplastic anemia, or if it is high, it is because of some hemolytic autoimmune diseases. So iron deficiency anemia. This is one type of nutritional anemia. Here it is purely because of the decreased intake of iron, or iron maybe we can call it as two sources, exogenous and the endogenous. Exogenous is the one which we are taking through the diet, and endogenous is the one which our body is capable of producing from the old RBC. The RBC life is about 120 days, and when 120 days is over, the RBC will be destroyed in by our body naturally in the spleen. So only we are calling spleen as the graveyard of the RBC. So the after degrading the RBC, the left out iron will be transported, and that we call as the endogenous source. So when endogenous and the exogenous, which we take through food, both these two makes the iron pool, total iron pool of the body. When this is not sufficient, when this iron content is not enough, that is called as the iron deficiency anemia. It is estimated to about approximately 50% of all cases of anemia is the iron deficiency anemia in both the pregnant and non-pregnant women, and in case of children it is about 42% under 5 years of age worldwide. So worldwide, if you see the prevalence rate, it is about 62.6%. In this minute, the with the total world population, 62% of people were suffering from iron deficiency anemia. Hope you can understand this is a global public health challenge. So why iron is important? Why this is making the anemia? Why this micro element, this trace element is very much important. Besides the RBC, you can look into the picture. Besides erythropoiesis, the RBC generation, the iron is important for the nervous system, for the liver, for the kidney, for the heart, skeletal muscles, thyroid gland, immune system, and also even for the DNA gene expression. So this is a very, very important micro element which makes a part of many enzymes, which is involved in the antioxidant nature, which is responsible for the production of various hormones, which is responsible for the production of various neurotransmitters, and even for immunity, for the phagocytosis, for the degradation of antigen foreign particle which gets in. For all these biochemical reactions pathways, iron plays a major role. The second picture shows you the iron pool, from where you can see the liver is the iron storage. So it can mobilize the iron, it can also store the iron. So iron is recycling from the macrophages, liver and spleen, and then it is used by the erythrocytes from bone also. Only in the bone the erythropoiesis is taking place. So bone is consuming more and more of iron every minute. So the iron is transported by means of transferrin, that is the name of the protein which transfers the iron. Then biochemistry of iron deficiency. We can classify iron deficiency into two types: absolute iron deficiency and the functional iron deficiency. Absolute iron deficiency, it is purely because of the nutritional deficiencies like iron, folate, B12, all these things, and any kind of blood loss like surgery or any cancers or any gastrointestinal ulcers, any kind of internal bleeding that takes place inside the body, those two things will contribute to the absolute iron deficiency. Whereas the functional iron deficiency, it is purely because of the various other diseases like chronic kidney diseases, and then the some hemolysis, some myelosuppressions, bone marrow infiltrations, and there is a protein called as hepcidin, which plays a major role in iron absorption. If the hepcidin level is increased, the iron absorption will be decreased. So these together will leads to the functional iron deficiency. This side picture will show you the reduced iron intake. That is nothing but due to malnutrition, and then reduced iron absorption. Here it shows the simple biochemical reaction which involves the hepcidin, and then increased iron loss. It is because of some internal injuries, mostly in the stomach or in the intestinal regions. Then impact of iron deficiency. So far we have seen what is iron deficiency anemia, what are the types of iron deficiencies, and then the various types of anemias, all those things, and what makes this iron deficiency a more important one. Besides the anemia, so what is anemia? It is decrease in the hemoglobin. Why hemoglobin is important? Hemoglobin is the one molecule which is going to carry oxygen. One molecule of hemoglobin carries four molecules of oxygen. So this is the only oxygen transporter to each and every cell of our body. From lungs, the oxygen is transported to each and every cell through this hemoglobin only. So due to the decrease in the hemoglobin, the oxygen transport will get affected majorly. That only results the energy loss, fatigue, all those things happen. Those are the symptoms of anemia. Then besides the anemia, it leads to impaired immune system. Our immunity will be decreased. The heart function will be decreased. The skeletal muscle, it will not be able to contract and relax properly. And then the kidney function will be disturbed. And then metabolism and the various chemical reactions in the body will get affected. And even the gene and protein expressions will also be getting affected. So altogether, due to all these consolidated effect of all these things, the exercise tolerance will be decreased, the quality of life will be decreased. As a result of that, the depression level of the individual will increase. It leads to increased hospitalization, and if not treated, some people we may be losing them due to decrease in hemoglobin. Some people, I am working in a Siddha Regional Research Institute, which is having an OPD. We are every day we are looking into nearly 200 plus patients, and some days we will be looking into patients, female, who will be coming with hemoglobin free. They are at a higher risk in case if they are not undergoing any blood transfusion. Their life is at a great risk. So anemia, though it is a very simple and a common problem, but that will lead to the death of the individual. The mortality rate of the anemia is very much pretty higher. So how to assess the iron status? So there are four types of iron status. One is the normal, the storage iron, transport iron, functional iron, everything will be normal here. Whereas the stage one, here the iron storage is lesser. Whereas the transport iron and functional iron will be sufficient, more than sufficient, but the storage iron, the storage is getting depleted. So the ferritin is the storage form, it is decreased. The last fourth line you can see the parameters. And then stage 2, it is the mild functional iron deficiency. Here the ferritin, and then saturation, T saturation, hepcidin, TABC, soluble transferrin receptor, all these things will be altered. And then stage 3, it is the functional iron deficiency. Here all the functional iron will also be depleted. So all the parameters will be decreased. Only one thing will be increased, the soluble transferrin receptor will be increased. That is the these are the biochemical tests, these are the blood investigation by which we can assess the iron statuses. And this is being given by World Health Organization through its book, namely the Nutritional Anemia Tools for Effective Prevention and Control. This shows the anemia prevalence, the iron deficiency anemia particularly among the 15 to 19-year adolescent girls. So these NFHS, it is National Family Health Survey. There are now at present, now the recent survey is NFHS 5, which is the 2020-21 data. The according to NFHS 5, the all over India percentage will be prevalence rate has been increased from 54.1 to 59.1. We have increased to nearly 5 points. So when we look into our state, the Puducherry, from 55 it has been increased to 58.4, whereas the neighboring state Tamil Nadu, they had some success here. Among 15 to 19 year population, they have decreased the percentage, some from 54 to 54.2 to 52.9, some 2 percentage has been decreased by the Tamil Nadu government among 15 to 19 years, whereas this is not possible in 15 to 49 years pregnant women. So here again, in all over India, it has been raised by 2 percentage, 50.4 to 52.2. In Puducherry, a very drastic increase from 26 percentage to 42.5 percentage increase in anemia prevalence among pregnant women as on 2021. This is the data. And for Tamil Nadu, from 44.4 to 48.3, the prevalence rate has been increased by 4 percentage. So this is the book you can see here, National Family Health Survey, which is being issue published by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. For every some 3 to 4 years gap, the last published one is the NFHS 5 2019 to 21. For 3 years this survey has been taken place. Now also the sixth one is being surveyed, or it is being under the compilation, and as at the earliest we will be getting the NFHS 6 data. So these are the key indicators for anemia among children and adults. You can see here the first line tells you about the children, and the next 4 lines will tell you about the pregnant and non-pregnant women, and the last 2 lines tell you about the men. Even in men, the percentage is 25 percentage for 15 to 19, 49 years per men, and 15 to 19, the teenage boys, they are suffering about 31.1 percentage of iron deficiency anemia throughout the India. In Puducherry, you can see it is 30.7 percentage of teenage boys and 19.5 percentage of 15 to 49 year men. Whereas for women, all age women 15 to 49, it is about some 55.1. All these percentage, nearly 50 percentage of the half the population of India is suffering from iron deficiency anemia. So why we should look into these statistical figures? Why this anemia is bothering us? Because it is a public health problem. What is a public health problem? When we call one disease as a public health problem, when the prevalence rate is lesser than 4.9 percentage, there is no public health problem. So when the percentage crosses 5 percentage, when the figure crosses 5 percentage, it is called as the mild public health problem from 5 to 19.9. When it crosses 20, it is called as moderate public health problem. But when it is greater than 40 percentage, it is the severe public health problem. This data, this reference range is provided by the WHO through its the nutritional anemia book. So according to this figure, previously we have seen here the men is having about 25 to 31 percentage, and women is having greater than 50 percentage. Now you can correlate here. Though you take the men, they are coming under moderate public health problem. If you take women, they are greater than 40, they are under severe public health problem. So either men or women, the anemia is a public health challenge globally. So what we know about anemia, generally we know it is decrease in RBC and decrease in HB. So due to that, the skin will be pale, and then they will be having some dizziness or a headache, and then cold hands, shortness of breath, and then they will feel very weak. They will be feeling very fatigue, and then their heart beats fastly, and then they will be having some chest pain in case of severe physical exercise. But additional to this, there is a increased risk of hemorrhage. Hemorrhage is nothing but the internal bleeding of blood, internal clot. If any internal bleeding happens, after some time the bleeding will be stopped and there forms the clot. So that is called as the hemorrhage, increased risk of hemorrhage. Then sepsis. Sepsis is nothing but the sepsis is the increased number of microbial counts in the blood. That is called as the sepsis. Maternal mortality, it is during the delivery we may lose the mother due to severe blood loss. Perinatal mortality, we may lose the child because of the iron deficient, because of severe blood loss. And if both maternal mom and child are good, but it may lead to some poor reproductive outcomes like preterm birth, low birth weight babies, and diminished iron reserves for the fetus. This point is very much important. I just carry this point to the next slide. Economic and developmental consequences of anemia. So, what is this economic and developmental consequences? And what is the connection between this last point? Poor reproductive outcomes such as preterm birth, low birth weight babies, and the diminished iron reserves. See, this baby are the future generations of the future citizens of a country. If their quality, if the baby is not healthy, then what it will affect? It will affect the economic and development of a country. The economic and social growth of a nation is impacted by anemia. Why? Because it is attributed to delayed cognitive and motor development. Cognitive is the one which is associated with the brain. So brain development of the children is reduced because of if the child is preterm, or if the child is low birth weight, or if the child is having any disease because of the malnutrition, or any disease because of decreased iron reserve. If any organ is not completely developed, all those things will lead to delayed cognitive and motor development. Motor is the hand leg coordination, that is called as the motor development in children, and this will reduce the work capacity in adult. So because of the anemia, the work productivity will decrease. When we feel fatigue, when we feel very tired, we will not be working good. So the productivity of our company will be, of our institution where we are working will be decreased. If we are studying as a student, you people are students, so your quality, your percentage, your merit will go down. So the institute, though your professors puts you lots and lots of they teaches you more and more, the productivity, the results will not be that much good. So either the money or the education, the productivity will be very much lesser due to anemia in adults, and in children it is due to the cognitive. There will be a decreased cognitive development. So all those things leads to decreased productivity of a nation. So in some selected developing countries, the WHO has been estimated about US dollars 3.64 per head, or 0.81 percentage of GDP, gross domestic product loss, is due to the iron deficiency anemia. In India, if you see the picture, we are the most prevalent. We are one of the developing countries, so the anemia is so much prevalent in India. The lifetime cost of iron deficiency anemia between ages of 6 and 59 years amount to 8.3 million disability adjusted life years, and annual production losses of about 24 billion US dollars in 2013. So which corresponds to about 1.3 percentage of GDP. The GDP of our country has been decreased by 1.3 percentage because of iron deficiency anemia when it is by the year 2013. And if you calculate now, it may be some 3 percentage, nearly it may be some 3 percentage. So this is the global picture of anemia. So wherever you see the red color, there and all the anemia is prevalent. The number of anemia cases is increased, and we can very well see our India. We are beautifully colored with very much dark red color, which shows the anemia is having such a greater prevalence. The iron deficiency anemia prevalence is very much greater in India, and besides India, we can also see some good red colors, deep red colors in Africa, and some orange to brick red shade we can see in some China's and in some other Eastern countries. So to eradicate anemia, the government, central government has created a program called as National Health Mission. So this National Health Mission is of two things: National Rural Health Mission and National Urban Health Mission. So under this, the central government is providing its support to the healthcare system of each and every state. So there is a great list of programs, and in the I have mentioned a few programs here, and among that the National Iron Plus Initiative, it is exclusively for the anemia control. Under this program, what the government is doing, it has created one more thing called as the Anemia Mukt Bharat. Anemia Mukt Bharat strategy, it is having a target to reduce anemia in the vulnerable age groups and prevent their mechanisms through many these are the I have given listed out here 8 things. So this there is no time to explain each and everything, so I'll just give you some few points about that. They will be giving some iron supplements, they will be giving some folic acid supplements, they will be regularly giving the awareness about the food what has to be taken, and they will be trade of they will go home by home and test women's, and they will also test for malaria and many other hemoglobin deficiency diseases, and they will train the medical officers to teach the public, to create awareness among the public to eradicate the anemia, iron deficiency anemia. So TS to treat and talk anemia camp. This is also one of the important program which is being done by National Health Mission. And we people, we usually getting on a fine day morning, we will be getting a mail stating that, and within 1 week we should give a report on this. So we will be frequently conducting the iron anemia camp in our OPD, and also to the places wherever we are getting a request, or wherever we select those people as vulnerable site. We are frequently conducting the anemia camp, and we are giving the supplements for them also. So the ICMR, Indian Council for Medical Research, the apex body, along with new National Health Mission, they have published a book called as the Guidelines for Control of Iron Deficiency Anemia. So according to this book, they are giving IFA supplementation program. IFA is iron folic acid. So iron folic acid, they are starting from 6 to 16 months. You can see here in children, adolescent, pregnant and lactating women, and also in the women of reproductive age. So they are from the months, from very small, from the infant stage itself, they are giving the iron supplement. And then in adolescent also they are giving 100 mg elemental iron, and in pregnant and lactating women they are giving the iron tablets, folic acid tablets, and for women of reproductive ages also they are giving the dosage may be different, but everywhere in all the 4 age groups they are giving only the elemental iron and the folic acid weekly. So besides this iron and folic acid supplements, it is very important to do deworming, because the worms which are present, the parasites, the unwanted microorganism which were present in our intestine may absorb the iron which is present in our food. So it is very much important to do deworming every 6 months. So for that every 6 months we need to take a tablet called as albendazole. So this for 1 to 2 years they will be giving half a tablet, and about 2 years they will be giving one tablet. So this tablet you may be aware of many government schools, even nowadays private schools also, students will be provided with a tablet. They have to consume in the school itself. If for every 6 months they will be given, and this IFA they are giving every week one tablet is being given to a school kid. So that kid has to consume it and in the spot itself. So for a month they will be given 4 tablets. And besides they are giving some advisories like enhancers which will enhance the heme production, or which will enhance the iron absorption, and which will inhibit the iron absorption. Though we are consuming the iron, there are some things which will decrease the iron absorption. These are the things that has been listed here. You should not take cereal bran, cereal grain, high extract flour, legumes, nuts and seeds. They will decrease the iron. So when you take iron rich foods, that iron rich food should not be complemented, should not be combined with these legumes, nuts and seeds. They should not, you should not have coffee, tea, or any herbal infusions, even green tea, even a hibiscus tea, whatever it may be. No drinks, no tea, coffees, or any herbal infusions before and after the iron rich food. You should give at least 1 hour gap. You should not take milk when you are taking some iron rich. For example, if you are having peanut is a good source of iron, it is rich in iron. So when you take peanut and immediately if you consume milk, what will happen? the calcium which is present in the milk, it will mask the, it will form a coating over the iron which is present in the peanut, so that iron will not be entering into our body, it will not be absorbed by the body, it will be excreted, it will be eliminated. So though we are consuming, because of our different food behavior, because of some because of unknowingly if we are consuming, it will leads to the iron deficiency only. Then enhancers, you should take ascorbic acid or vitamin C, you should take fruits, juices, all those things can be taken along with your iron rich foods. And whatever you eat, you can ferment it or you can germinate it. These will increase the iron content of your food. And then if you are a non-vegetarian, you can prefer meat, poultry, fish, and also seafood, which are rich in iron. So this is the schedule which is being given for the women for menstruating and adolescent women, and also for the this is the suggested scheme for intermittent iron and folic acid supplementation. They will be giving 60 to 60 mg, 30 to 60 mg elemental iron, and daily one supplement per day. I told you, no, in the school they will be given you in the kids will be provided with one tablet per week, so they have to take that. And the key action and recommendation here they have mentioned dietary diversification and enhancing the bioavailability of micronutrients. So here we should increase the production and also the consumption of iron rich food like meat, poultry, fish, all those things. And then we should increase the production and consumption of vitamin A. They are rich in iron, such as carrot leaf vegetables, and then orange color flesh foods, then egg liver, fish oils, all those things. And then citric fruits, you can take it, because and when you consume the citric rich foods, they should not be degraded by cooking. You should have it as raw uncooked vitamin C and should get in, then only it will increase the iron absorption. And then you should germinate and ferment any kind of if you are using the rice batter, you should ferment it. If you are using any ragi flour, you should make it germinated ragi flour. Like that we can fortify the food with the iron by the simple germination and fermentation process. Avoid combining known inhibitors of iron absorption with meals that are high in iron content. Previously we were talking, separate tea and coffee drinking from meal times. Consumption 1 to 2 hours later will not inhibit iron absorption. Nobody is telling you don't have tea, don't have coffee, but better you can take tea, coffee after 1 to 2 hours than your meals. Don't take it along with our meal, because we South Indians, we usually prefer after having a good breakfast is idli, dosa, pongal, vada, and then one coffee, a Kumbakonam degree coffee. So what will happen? Whatever the carrots, whatever drumstick leaves, whatever the ingredients in our food has the iron, if we consume coffee, they will not get absorbed by our body, so it will be excreted as such, and it will be going outside to the soil only. So consume dairy products, milk, cheese, and other foods not during the meal time, as a snack. We are fond of having the paneer with palak paneer. So palak is rich in iron. Paneer, it is the inhibitor of iron. So when you combine these two things, whatever iron present in spinach, in the palak, it will not get into our body. So we need to think wisely, and we need to have food appropriately. So all these blah blah we all know. If anybody is asked with a question, they will be telling you, and what are the things that are rich in iron, what to eat, what not to eat, everything will be doing. We all know everything, but we are not following. That is the only problem of us. So limitations in iron supplementation. Some people, they will tell why I should bother all those things, why I should eat these many things, why can't I take iron supplements? Just a small tablet, swallowing a tablet is very comfortable for me. But what is the limitation in that iron supplement? Iron folic acid supplement, it leads to nausea, vomiting, epigastric discomfort. It is nothing but the gastritis, and then sometimes it may leads to diarrhea, or it may leads to constipation, and mostly the metal taste of the tablet will be there in your throat always. It is not palatable. So the iron absorption is hindered by various factors, though you are taking by tablets. Iron, it is such a magic micro element, but it is a poor absorbing micro element. So whatever iron you take, only 10% of iron will get absorbed. Even if you cut the iron rod and if you consume also, 10 percentage of iron only will get absorbed. Only then remaining 90% will go as such. So whatever amount you take, only 10%. So what you should do, whatever amount this your body requires, that should be the 10%. If I require 60 mg per day, I should eat 600 mgs. Then only the 90% will be eliminated and 10% will get absorbed in my body. So accordingly, we should improve our food habits. So only the iron supplementation, it is not it, though it is creating so many side effects, we are in search of some alternative medications for better therapeutic effects. So iron deficiency anemia through Siddha system of medicine, where I am working. Siddha system of medicine, it is developed by 18 Siddhas. Siddha, it is nothing but an art of healthy living. It does not gives you only the medicine, it also tells you when to eat, what to eat, why we should eat, and in which time what we should eat, like all those things. It is a complete package of lifestyle. It is an art of healthy living. It gives you the preventive, curative, and also the promotive healthcare. It has the lifestyle practices including the food habits. It has medicines. Besides medicines, it has many rejuvenators which will rejuvenate the body. And it has yogam varmam, and the Siddha system of medicine, it is based on three humors and five elements theory. Three humors, somebody would have heard the vada, pitta, and kapha. So those three are the three humors, and five elements, they are the five basic elements: the air, water, fire. We all know those five elements of the universe. So these are the basics of Siddha system. There are 64 types of Siddha medicines, 32 types of internal medicines, and 32 types of external medicines. And there are many numerous preparations of Siddha formulations available for anemia since ages. So the Siddha system has been, it has been developed by Siddhas, and it is in the palm leaf manuscript. So everything is a time tested one. They have used in their life, and then only they have made it as some stanzas in some poetical form. They have mentioned how to prepare the medicine, how to consume the medicine, what's the quantity, and what are the diets when this medicine is consumed. All those things will be given in the form of a poem in the palm leaf manuscripts. So many types of Siddha formulations like Churanam, Vadagam, Manapagu, Panidam, Nei, Mathirai, Ilagam, Chenduram, they are available, and these formulations may be polyherbal. They may be a fusion of mixture of plants, herbs. They may be a mixture of herbs and also mineral. They may be a mixture of plants and a metal. So that case we call it as the herbo-metallic formulations. These three types of formulations, polyherbal, herbo-mineral, and the herbo-metallic formulations are available for anemia treatment. And so far many clinical trials, preclinical studies, clinical trial is the one which is done using the with the human beings. Volunteering human beings are the deceased subjects. That is called the clinical trial. Preclinical trials are nothing but with the cell lines or with the animals, rat, mice, guinea pig, all those things we call it as the preclinical studies, were carried out using Siddha formulation for the correction of iron deficiency anemia. And these Siddha formulation, they have minimal side effects. They have very lesser, we cannot say zero, because whatever may be the chemical, if there is a substance available in the body, if there is a chemical substance available, whether it is of natural origin or a synthetic one, it is a chemical compound, it will have its own reaction. So there is nothing in the world called as zero effects. So we are having the Siddha formulation, will be having the minimal to lesser side effects, and they are successfully used by various physicians for the treatment of anemia widely. Tamil Nadu government, they are providing Amma Magaperu Sanjeevi. This is a kit given to each and every pregnant woman at the primary health center of the Tamil Nadu government. So this kit, it is including Madulai Manapaga and Annabedi Chenduram. These two are the excellent drugs of for the treatment of anemia. This Annabedi Chenduram, currently I am working in a project with Annabedi Chenduram. So it is giving excellent result. It is increasing the HB like anything. Like hemoglobin level is getting increased like anything. So only the government even taken into its health policy. So it is the need of the hour to take these less side effect drugs, which is so much which the madalai manapagi, it is just like a sweet, it is just like a pomegranate. You just imagine pomegranate mixed with jaggery, and then if you are consuming in a liquid thick syrup, that is the madalai manapagi. It is such a sweet one. You think that is a squash, so you will not identify it as a medicine even. So that kind of a good and palatable and so sweet medicine which will increase our HP is available with Siddha system of medicine. So these are the two publications of myself, which is prepared out of 40 years of anemia research. So whoever has done anemia research using Siddha formulation for the last 40 years, from 1982 to 2022, all the results have been compiled, and systematic review and meta-analysis has been published. These are the two publications which we published last year. And Siddha has some treatment guidelines for the anemia. Before starting with anemia drug, it will be given a purgation, that is some kind of diarrhea will be induced so that the intestines will be cleaned, and then the anemia drugs will be given. Here you can see whatever medicine I have pronounced, the Churana, Manapagu, Ilagam, Kudinir, all the names you can see here. Everything will be given with honey 3 times a day after food. Some drugs may be before food, some drugs may be after food, some with honey, some with jaggeries, and some with some tender coconut, some with some lemon juice, like that. And besides these internal medicines, there are some external therapies like yoga asanam also it is available, which will increase the HB level, that is your RBC level. So food according to Siddha system of medicine: green leafy vegetables, carrot, beetroots, tender beans, tender drumstick, and then tender plantain, bottle gourd. These are the things which will increase your RBC level. Pomegranate, dates, guava, banana, grapes, fig, they are so much rich in iron, and we should consume it regularly. Then when we come to the green leafy vegetable, particularly the ponnangani, sirkirai, araikirai, karisalai, manatakali, and drumstick leaves, they are so much they are having so much of iron in it. So regular consumption of these green leafy vegetables will help us to increase our iron pool. If anybody is feeling some kind of loss of appetite, or they don't feel hunger, they feel some kind of vomiting sensation, they can make porridges or soup out of these vegetables and green leafy vegetables. If they are non-vegetarians, they consume the meat, and then the country bird, and then quail, liver, bone. They are good for health, they are having so much of iron in it. And then millets are also rich in iron, and that can also be consumed frequently. So we all know last year 2023, it is the international year of millets. This is to give the importance, to establish the to create awareness among the public about the significance of millets. The United Nations has announced last year as the international year of millets. There are three millets which are very much rich in iron. The finger millet, which we call it as the ragi, it is having about 3 to 7 mg of iron in it per 100 grams of grain. So it is the maximum iron richest source of iron than anything in the plant food. And coming to next to ragi, it is the kambu, it is the pearl millet. It is also having rich in iron content. Then comes the sorghum, solam. It is also having rich in it is also having rich iron content. So whatever may be the age of the people, though it has old age or middle age or young women, it is an older generation or younger generation, they are educated or not educated, they are urban or rural, city or village, whatever may be the difference among the women. So all women are coming under a category called as iron deficiency anemia. About 58 percentage of Indian women are suffering from iron deficiency anemia. So nobody is left ear. And interestingly, I will tell you one thing. When I told you that we will be going for anemia camps frequently, so when we go to some rural areas, in some villages, interest to the surprise, we will be finding if we do some anemia test, the HB test for some, say for some hundreds, we will be seeing only some 5 to 10 women having iron deficiency in anemia. Nearly some 80 to 90 percentage of rural women are healthy. They are not iron deficient. Only the urban women's, they are, if we are doing in any urban area, nearly 50 percentage of tested women population are having iron deficiency anemia. This is because our tradition, our culture, it is having the millets and then the kali, kambu kali, ragi kali, and then kur, all those things in our tradition itself, in our lifestyle itself. We have some healthy practices. This has to be consumed, that has to be consumed. This will gives you more. And during puberty also, the black gram will be given, that some porridge, some sweet, some coliform, something will be given during the puberty also. So in each and every stages or in the life of a woman, during the puberty, during the delivery, and in post delivery, and in the normal healthy lifestyle, everywhere the our tradition is having some food habits which is followed by our previous generation. Our moms, they used to say, you just eat vegetables, you just eat greens. We say, no, I don't want it. Why are you often, you are torturing me, why you are pestering me, I don't want this. We are fond of eating the burgers, we are fond of eating french fries, we are fond of eating the pizzas, all those things. They don't have nothing, they are just the junks. So if we would have followed our previous generation food practice, maybe this iron deficiency would have been eliminated. So never forget our roots, the tradition and culture. So whatever is being in our tradition, whatever is being taught in our culture, the tradition, everything, each and every point, each and every small things is having a great scientific background. Only they may not be aware of the scientific background of that practice. So because of that unawareness, we cannot leave that it is some orthodox, it is not it is just a conventional like that. It is a traditional, it is a scientific form of living. That is the thing which is being followed by our ancestors, by our even our previous generation, our father, our till our parent generation. So now it is high time for us to take up all our traditional values, take up all our cultural values, practice our traditional foods, practice our cultural heritage. So never forget your roots. So women empowerment, this I am talking as a part of this talk, is being a part of Women's Day celebration. So Women's Day celebration will talk much about women empowerment. Unless and until we take care of our health, there is nothing to talk about the women empowerment. So we should talk now about women health empowerment. So this has to be started now. Let's start from within and around us. So now I am just conveying this to some hundreds of women population, and some boys will also be there. Those boys has to carry these messages to your women. You will be having your mom, you will be having your sister, you will be having your friend. Just convey everything whatever you are receiving to some people. If you are giving to 4, 4 will give to 40, 40 will give to 400. The things will get amplified. So let's start from within and around us, the women health empowerment. So together only everyone achieves more. We all together stands together and achieves more to eradicate the iron deficiency anemia from our country and also from the global level. And it is the time for acknowledgement. I sincerely express my thanks to Puducherry Technological University, the IEEE and WIV Affinity Group, and also Dr. Gunasundari, my good friend, who has introduced myself for this special talk. And also I thank my institute, Siddha Regional Research Institute, for having giving me this opportunity to spare my office hours for this webinar. And I also thank my headquarters, the Central Council for Research in Siddha, which is located at Chennai, for having giving so much of freedom, funds, and good working atmosphere for doing some meaningful scientific research here. This is our institute. Do visit our institutes. We are having OPDs and we are having many research projects. Currently we are about some 15 research projects with taking place, and we are happy to collaborate with each and every organization which is placed around us. Thank you, and you can reach me at this mail ID. Thank you all. If there is any question, I am happy to answer. And for regular updates, you can follow our Facebook page also. Thank you.
Madam, this is Gunasundari. Thank
Yes,
you very
ma'am.
much, madam. Very useful, informative lecture. I have a question here, madam.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
So, is anemia related to chronic disease, or is it also a chronic disease?
Anemia, actually, it is not, it cannot be formed acute, madam. Acute sense, it will be forming only due to some physical injuries, in case of any accidents, in case of any blood loss. If the blood comes out of the body, that is an acute one. Otherwise, the anemia is a chronic one. It will be slowly, it will be developing. Usually the normal high hemoglobin level, it is about, for women it is greater than 12. So from 12 to 8, the body will never show you any symptoms. Very very minute changes you can observe. If you climb up stairs, you'll be feeling very tired, or you may feel some shortness of breath, like that. Very very small and minute symptoms will be exhibited unless and until it goes beyond 8. So after 8 only it starts showing its symptoms. So if we are having our food habits, if we are having a keep on check on our HB every year, we can prevent it. So it can be told as the chronic one only. Hello, madam.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening.
Ma'am, is occasional fasting allowed for anemic patients, or they should never skip meals, ma'am?
Sorry, ma, I can't hear your question. Only I have heard half the question. Skip the
No,
meals,
ma'am.
only I have heard. Can you please repeat it?
Is occasional fasting permissible for anemic patients,
Occasional
or?
fasting. So fasting, it is not good for your stomach, because you should not leave your stomach dry. Your stomach should be always wet. Nowadays, they are talking about intermittent fasting. For 15 hours or for 16 hours, you should not eat anything, and for 8 hours you can have anything. But that for 8 hours you should have it nutrition things. The that food what you are taking for those 8 hours, or food you are taking for those some particular period of hour of your interest, that should be of so much of nutrition, and for with so much of what should say, it is a balanced diet. In that case it will never hurt you. But if you are skipping meals regularly, if you are not having any particular pattern, there should be a pattern always. Today you will be eating 4 times, tomorrow you will not be eating anything, and then another day you will be eating two. You should not confuse your digestive system. So whatever, our sages, even nowadays there are some people who have only one meal a day, but every day they will be practicing the body only having one meal a day, so that body has tuned for that kind of that pattern of food. So a particular pattern of food has to be followed by each and every individual. If you skip that, that will be hurting your the digestive system, not the other systems. The digestive system will then cause some ulcer, and then it will lead to some other greater diseases. Even it may lead to the cancer stages also.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. That was informative.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
What impact does anemia have on boys on the age group of 16 to 20, ma'am?
16 to 20, the same thing, all the heart muscles, and then heart, skeletal muscles, kidney, so whatever organs involved, I have shown you the pictures, right? So all the organs will get affected. The only way of anemia, the occurrence of anemia will be different for boys and the girls, because girls will be having every month, they will be having the blood loss during their menstruation. But boys, they will not be finding that kind of, they will not be undergoing that kind of every month loss. So the anemia in boys is very pathetic. So if they are anemic, that may be because of some internal bleeding, some internal diseases, some internal problems within them. So that has to be addressed. If that is not addressed, The anemia in boys will be called as the secondary anemias. It is not the primary problem there. So that the primary issue, for example, I have seen come across a boy, some 15 years is, and during his public examination, he was not able to perform his exams well, and he has scored only less marks. That is because of this anemia. He had some severe gastrointestinal bleeding. He has not attended it, and one fine day he couldn't get up and all those things, and what happens, that has affected here his education. Similarly, the boys, you are the teenage boys, you have to enjoy your life and you have to study good and you have to get placements in a good companies for your earnings. So if you are healthy only, you can proceed with all those lifetime goals and achievements. So that is very important. So you need to consider this iron as a major element which gives you a healthy life. Did I
Okay,
answer
ma'am.
your
Thank you.
question? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Evening.
Ma'am, are there any specific populations or demographics that are particularly susceptible to iron deficiency anemia, ma'am?
No, it is not so. There is no particular demographic population which are susceptible to iron deficiency anemia, but we have Africans who are susceptible to another type of anemia called as the sickle cell anemia. There the RBC will be in sickle shape. You know the sickle, right? The one which we use to cut the grasses, right? So their RBC will be in shape. So that sickle cell anemia is predominant in Africans. It is because of some defect in their hemoglobin gene. So as a result of that, the RBC will acquire the sickle shape. And interestingly, those sickle cell patients, they will never get a malaria. That is the only advantage of having sickle cell, but it is a very pathetic disease. It will leads to, even sometimes it will leads to mortality. Not for iron deficiency anemia, any demographic groups has been identified so far.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, my question is that is there any alternative therapies
Mm.
for treating this anemia, ma'am?
Yes, I told you, many drugs formulations will be available with Siddha and also with many other traditional system of medicine like Ayurveda, homeopathy, or Unani also. You will be
But
seeing so much
can we
of
treat it from
formulations.
our home itself, ma'am?
What, ma?
The home remedies, ma'am.
Home, home
The
remedies.
initial step that we can take.
So
Yes, ma'am.
instead of, if you want to do anything at your home, instead of taking any medicines, you just have green leafy vegetables, you just consume orange color fruits, you just consume red color vegetables, you just add more and more of colors to your food plate, more and more of colorful vegetables and fruits, not the synthetic colors. Okay, you just add more and more of colors to your food plate. That will increase your natural iron, which will be absorbed easily. And besides, to the answer to your question, you can have the drumstick leaves, right? You can put it as a soup and then you can consume. Otherwise, we are having something, the, the panangiranga, slender,
Yes,
small
ma'am.
stick like thing, right? That panangiranga, that can be
Yes, ma'am.
boiled, and then air dried. Chop it into small pieces, air dry it, not sun dry, air dry. Okay, air dry it and then make it into a powder, and then mix that powder into whatever you eat, into any poddies or in any curries or in any salads, whatever you have, you can have that panagalangu powder that is having so much of iron. And then you can also use the vilvam leaf, that will also be increasing the iron content. Some extract can be, some decoctions, vilvam leaves can be put into water, it can be boiled and extracts can be taken. And then you can also use the karisalai. Karisalai can also be made into a decoction and that can also be consumed. So if you need a home remedy,
Okay, ma'am, but
you just mail me. I'll give you some tips. I have some great list of home remedies for iron deficiency anemia. Just mail me. I'll revert you back with the exact
yes, ma'am, but
preparation and the amount how much you have to consume. Because orally, if we convey anything right, any misconception or any mistake happening during the process, that will not give you the actual result. So just mail me. I'll provide you the exact procedure of what to be done at home. Okay.
yes, ma'am, but actually we are hostelers, ma'am, so we couldn't go home
No,
like very
no
frequently.
need of
So
going.
we will be given
Even the hostel, you
we'll
can
be
have
given the
kettles.
hostel supplies facility.
You can given
So
you can
is there any,
you will you will be provided with a kettle, right? You can use kettle at
yes,
your
ma'am.
room. Am I right? You can use kettle at your room. So with that kettle, even you can
Yes, ma'am.
prepare and you can have. No need of going home. No need of what to say, deprived of anything. And your campus is such a biodiversity campus. So much of plants, greeny campus. And next to your campus is the Pondicherry University. There also so much of plants are available. So the availability of herbs will not be an issue at all. The only thing how to prepare, you just connect me through mail. I'll be responding you back.
Okay, ma'am.
Or
Thank you
else
so
you
much, ma'am.
can get my contact number from Gunasundari madam and you can make a call also. I'll help you out.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am. Thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
So actually, previously they used to distribute iron tablets in our school, ma'am, in order to improve our iron health.
Yeah.
But the thing is, a lot of us in our class, we ended up being, negatively affected by it. We got side effects. Like for instance, I got severe stomachache after taking those iron tablets.
That's what I
So
told you. It gives you epigastric discomfort, nausea, vomiting, constipation. All those things are the side effects of iron tablets.
yes, ma'am. So what can be done about it, ma'am? Because some people say that even if we take it naturally, we won't get that much iron, so we have to go for synthetic.
No, no, no. We cannot do nothing with the synthetic IFA because the IFA supplements, those tablets will be giving you only these kind of side effects. The only thing is to consume it through our food, through the natural, that the natural organic form of iron will absorb better than those synthetic ions. They are inorganic ions. Sometimes if you take an iron pill, right? And you just put a magnet, you just take that iron pill towards the magnet, some tablets will get attached with the magnets even. I have seen. They are inorganic in form. That inorganic form of iron, when you consume, right, sometimes it may get accumulated in your body. That will give some other reaction. That will give you some other diseases. So don't depend on the iron supplementation. The iron supplementation, it is by no other go. We are telling to eat this, eat that. If you are not eating, no other go. The last option is the iron supplement. That is the government which is doing now. Just have one tablet so that you will not be suffering anymore because of iron deficiency. You will not be losing your life. You'll be having some other side effects which can be treated. So for in that case only, the government is giving you the IFA supplementation. So better we can have it through food itself. So whatever I have explained previously, that can be done. The green leafy vegetables, and main thing, whatever you consume. I have seen many people who will take good diet, who will take a balanced diet, but what they will be doing immediately after their diet, they will be consuming a cup of tea. They will consuming a cup of coffee or any even green tea, hibiscus tea, whatever herbal infusions, everything will be inhibiting the iron absorption. So don't have anything after your meals. Don't have anything after your breakfast or your dinner. You just leave 1 to 2 hours gap of each meal with your herbal infusions or with your tea, coffees, or with any kind of snack, whatever you are having. Try to have peanuts in then nuts and seeds in spite of burgers, pizzas, french fries, all those things. You just in spite of having dairy milk, have the peanut chickies, have the sesame chickies, right? The energy, those are also the energy bars, not only the dairy milk or the 5 star. They are not only the energy bars. These peanut chickies, these that ellu rundai, that verkadlai barfi, they are mallatai, all those things, they are so much of they are rich in iron. So try to replace your chocolates with these kinds of traditional and the natural candies. And you just reduce your white sugar. If it is very much good if you completely avoid white sugar. You just try to incorporate the cane sugar or the palm jaggeries or the normal jaggery. That will increase your iron content. And then use iron pots, iron vessels for cooking purpose. Don't pressure cook anything. Try to boil in vessels itself. So these are the small tips where we can preserve the nutrients in our food. So that food when we consume, it will increase our nutritional value, so that it will prevent any kind of nutritional deficiency. Not only the iron, many vitamins will be preserved.
Thank you. There are no questions in the conversation.
Any more questions?
Shall we conclude it now? So, okay, since there are no more questions, I think we can conclude.
Yeah.
So, as we draw this enlightening session to a close, I want to express my deepest gratitude to Dr. Gayathri Gunalan for her illuminating insights and invaluable contributions to our discussion on iron deficiency anemia. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Her expertise has shed light on complexities of global health challenge and has inspired us to continue our efforts in addressing it. So I also want to thank each and every one of you for your active participation and engagement in this wonderful session. So as we depart from the session, let us carry forward the knowledge and inspiration gained today into our respective spheres of influence. Together, let us continue to work towards creating a healthier and more equitable world. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Shall I leave, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.